first spacecraft in the next generation of space communications is ready to take its place in NASA's Tracking and Data Relay Satellite System, or TDRS. The nearly 4,000-pound TDRS-K satellite will join several predecessors that provide communications between Earth and the International Space Station, the Hubble Space Telescope, and many satellites. A powerful two-stage Atlas V rocket built by United Launch Alliance will deliver TDRS-K into geosynchronous orbit more than 22,000 miles above Earth's surface. The rocket's Centaur upper stage arrived at Florida's Port Canaveral in October 2012 aboard ULA's Delta Mariner barge. From there, it was transported a few miles north to the Atlas Spaceflight Operations Center at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. Less than 1 month later, a massive Ukrainian Antonov 124 aircraft delivered the rocket's first stage, which then joined the upper stage in the Operations Center. In December, the TDRS-K satellite arrived at NASA's Kennedy Space Center inside an Air Force C-17 aircraft. The spacecraft was taken to the Astrotech payload processing facility in nearby Titusville, where it was unpacked to start its final pre-launch testing and preparations. As 2013 began, the first stage of the Atlas V rocket was raised to vertical in the Vehicle Integration Facility near Cape Canaveral Air Force Station's Space Launch Complex 41. Shortly after, the Centaur upper stage was lifted into position and attached to the first stage. The TDRS-K satellite was encapsulated in its protective payload fairing on January 16th. Long before sunrise on January 20th, the payload departed Astrotech for the ride to Space Launch Complex 41, where it was secured to the waiting Atlas V. Now, launch is close at hand, and soon TDRS-K will begin its mission, ensuring the critical lifeline of space-to-ground communication support will be available for years to come. From Cape Canaveral in Florida, this is Atlas Launch Control at T-minus 2 hours and holding. We're now just 2.5 hours away from the liftoff of NASA's TDRS-K Tracking and Data Relay Satellite. Launches atop a United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket from Launch Complex 41 at Cape Canaveral. The launch window today extends from 8:48 to 9:28 p.m. The launch window tonight is 40 minutes in duration. This will be the 35th Atlas V rocket to be launched from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. The TDRS-K Tracking and Data Relay Satellite will relay voice, data, and telemetry communications between spacecraft in Earth orbit and ground controllers. This includes the International Space Station, the Hubble Space Telescope, and scientific satellites. Even the Atlas rocket being launched tonight with TDRS-K will be tracked using the TDRS system in orbit, taking over from the ground tracking stations of the Eastern Range beginning about 6.5 minutes into the flight. 10 tracking and data relay satellites have been launched since the first one launched on the Space Shuttle on April 4, 1983, almost exactly 30 years ago. The TDRS system allows almost constant space communication. Because of the reliability and longevity of the system, TDRS-K is the first one to be launched by NASA that the agency has needed since 2002, over 10 years ago. The spacecraft was built for NASA by Boeing Space Systems. So at this time, we're awaiting our poll from the NASA Launch Director Tim Dunn of the NASA team, and that will be followed by the poll of the Atlas team to begin tanking of the Atlas V rocket with cryogenic propellants. At T-minus 2 hours and holding with 6 minutes remaining this plan built-in hold, this is Atlas Launch Control.
Attention all stations, this is the NLM on the NLM net. We are in good configuration with the launch vehicle. Centaur prop loading is complete. Booster LO2 loading is complete. Range is green. Weather is acceptable at this time. I would now like to conduct the final launch readiness and spacecraft configured for launch poll. NASA CE.
NASA CE, go.
SMA.
SMA's go.
SMD.
SMD's go.
NASA MEM.
NASA MEM is go.
NAM.
NEM's ready.
NLM copies. The NASA team is ready for TDRS-K launch.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And liftoff of the Atlas V rocket with TDRS-K, broadening, enhancing, and improving the capability of space-based tracking.
Roll program has begun. Body rates look good. Bus and battery voltages are stable. Booster engine continues to operate well. Pump speeds are within parameters. Boost pump pressures are good. Currently accelerated at 1.4 Gs. Engine operation continues to be excellent. Roll program is complete. Booster PU is now operating in closed loop control. Mach 1. Max Q. Body rates continue to look very good. Booster has throttled back, right on schedule. Engine response looks good. Currently accelerating at 1.8 Gs. Current altitude is 13 miles. Downrange distance 9.6 miles. Current velocity is 2,390 miles per hour.